I kind of wanted to first off ask because
Yeah.
I feel like we have this talk a lot of the time where we ask like,
Yeah.
what genre would you call your music? Because I say, especially with that,
Yeah.
it's difficult to say whether it's grime, whether it's got a bit of drill, whether it's trap.
The intention is always to make grime.
Mm.
I was even trying to explain this a few days ago, where for me, every single song I've ever made,
Yeah,
and likely will ever make,
yeah,
is made as a grime song. Whether it's Witch Clark, Night Raid, The Stuff in Heaven is Black, this stuff. I'm just a grime MC. It just happens that the lens that I have for grime is extremely broad.
Okay, I see.
So I never. That's why I could never even make a pop song.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't. I can take influence from something, but I'm always trying to make grime on purpose.
Yeah.
So for me, this is grime. This is just grime.
A question off that, because I have this thing in my head as well where grime, you can say, is it the 140 BPM? Is it the sound of the beat? Or is it the attitude that you come at the tune?
It's... I think the 140 thing's just done to death. Yeah. People are obsessed with it when more time, a lot of the best producers don't even stick to that tempo.
Yeah, probably like, if you listen to Rough Squad's early stuff.
Rough Squad, you can look at Bring It Forward, look at Proc Fiscal.
I don't know who that is, to be honest.
Check out his Just Jam. He did a Just Jam with DC and SBK.
Okay.
It's cold, but he makes like 160 stuff.
Oh, okay, I see.
But it's like, it kind of like sounds like the Rough Sound stuff, but it's wicked. It's like, it's very, very unique.
Okay, and I'll check
stuff like Split Diablo, for example. I'm pretty sure that he always puts his things to like 142. It's just people were just a bit pedantic about 140. 140 is over. Like honestly, and as a rapper, to rap on 140 is just dead. Like raise the tempo just a bit for me. So I think the defining characteristics of grime are just, it's something I know so well. It would be difficult to even explain it. Yeah, it's something where.
So it's just in you, basically.
Yeah, it's just in me. It's just the desire to make it is so in me, and I've listened to it so much that it would be a very, very challenging thing to actually properly, formulaically explain. I just know that it's absolutely not hip hop what I make. Yeah. Obviously, there's a trap influence.
I'm sure many a magazine have put you in that rap and hip hop lane, though.
Yeah, I'm not hip hop. I will never make. I'm not really interested in hip hop like that. I listen to some of it, but. Yeah. And I listen. When I say that, that's not totally true because I like all music across the spectrum, whether it is, whatever it is, I like. But
I remember before you were showing me that rock stuff. Like,
I listen to that a lot, and that's actually a lot of metal is what influenced this project. A lot of metal, more in terms of the lyrical stuff. But yeah, I just think there's influence coming from other places. Definitely, I definitely take influence from other genres. But everything I make I'm always trying to make grime. Yeah. And I think definitely one of the big points as well of the project was the JME feature. So I kind of wanted to get your kind of take on how that kind of came together, because like he's one of the godfathers of this thing. He's the goat.
Yeah, no, he's definitely up there.
He's up. Yeah, definitely. He's So basically, I'll give you a timeline. Yeah. I've been trying to do that when I've been talking to people about the project. Yeah. Where So Nami sent me the instrumentals. Most of the instrumentals, not all of them. Most of them he sent them to me.
Kind of to take it back, so when did you first start on this project though? Was it this year or has it been a while?
It was in May.
Oh, May of this year?
Yeah, okay, it was in May. I wrote the body of it in May.
Okay.
And it was written and recorded in a week.
Oh, sick. Sick.
And so the first, No Numbers, Onitska, Tiger.
Yeah, no, the titles are sending me. Like,
the
titles are sending me.
That's always what you gotta do, man. You gotta make some, cause like if you're not gonna,
I can feel there was a bit of an anime influence.
There's an influence from everything. I'm a man of range. So I listen, I consume a lot of media. Yeah. From across the broad. I'm also someone that's very into fashion. Yeah. I'm very into.
No, I can see it by the source on this.
Big out, shout MMRMS, the people that made this verse. I don't even know how to pronounce, but I rate the guy. He's a like young Jamaican dude that's making this.
No, I feel like the Jamaican vibes are just coming through.
Yeah, man. I'm yarded off today, man. I just came from a Lovers Rock event.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
man.
There's Dennis Bovel in South Bank.
Oh, ski.
I do love Lovers Rock is the livest. It's the livest music. But anyway, what I was saying was, so yeah, so No Numbers on Itska. My verse on Corn. Articuno's Boots. The Only Perfect Place on Earth. In fact, sorry, I'm getting it wrong. Basically, all my vocals on the whole project, aside from Articuno's Boots, were recorded in 1 4-hour session on a Monday.
Wow.
Then the next day, if I remember correctly, I went to record with Juninho and Jamie.
I like how you brought those two together as well. That's dope as well.
It had to happen because I knew that Jamie rated Juninho.
Okay.
So I was like, it just makes sense to bring them together, you know? Yeah. And I was like, I need to get 2 amazing verses on this. Yeah. I thought of Kibo, potentially.
Oh yeah, Kibo's dope.
I thought, who else did I consider? I thought Kibo.
Because I feel like when JME comes in, he always comes in with that aggression, and Kibo kind of has that in a way. And also Kibo would have made sense in terms of the references for me, you know, on the project. Kibo's a big influence, actually, to be honest, on me as a rapper over the last few years. Okay. But yeah, I just settled on Jamie, and then we went to the studio. It was crazy. It was a wild day, but they recorded their stuff on that day. The way that thing flipping Jamie does, he warms up his voice is mad. The way he just records as well. Oh, yeah. It's exactly how you would think he would do it. Like a glass of water with like cucumber in it and. Nah, not even like that. It's like he just has amazing. He has vitality. He has like he has a lust for life, and it comes through in the recording process. Because when you record, I've recorded with people and I've seen people, all kinds of people, but it's not often that you feel. And for me, I'm someone who naturally has a lot of energy. Yeah. And I never feel that anyone has more energy than me, but he definitely does. Definitely, because I felt even. Not even that he's hyperactive. I don't mean it like that. He just has his brain is very switched on. Yeah. He's got a lot of I think vitality is the perfect word. Vitality is the perfect word to be honest. But yeah, he you see it in the. Because it's funny. I don't know if you saw. He was on ZZ Mills recently. Yeah. I watched that. But he was talking about how he basically, even though he doesn't put out a lot, he like makes a beat every day. So yeah. He was showing us some of those beats as well. Okay. Some of those beats are ridiculous. Yeah. I'm not even gonna say anything because, but just some of those beats are ridiculous. Yeah. I would love to hear those beats. Well, the one that he played on that show was amazing. Let's move on because I don't want to get myself in trouble. But yeah, some of those beats were ridiculous. Anyway, and then I went back to the studio. Not with those two. I went to my regular studio. Yeah. With Modulist, and then I recorded Articuno's Boots, and the bonus track that people don't. Only about 7 people have this song, or 8. Oh man. This is a song that will never be properly circulated because. Is it too controversial? No, it's not even that it's controversial, but it's more that it's like a secret. Yeah. I was like, if you pre-order the tape, I'll give it to you. Okay, I see. A few people did. Yeah. And I gave it to DJ Oblig because it made sense. That I gave it to him as well. Nami obviously has it too, but this is like a secret song that people. I'll perform it maybe. I think I'm gonna reserve it for when I perform. Yeah. It's a very. I've never made a song like that. I'll never make a song like that again. It's so. Did you pour out your soul on? No, it's not like it's not. It's like Oh, do you mean in like concept is sick rather than? No, not so much. Just the way I'm rapping. I've never rapped like that before. Yeah. It's like bizarre. It's actually a very strange song. Yeah. It feels like I didn't make it. Mad. Man said he was channeling a spirit through him. I actually drank. I never drink coffee. Yeah. And on the day I recorded this song, I drank coffee. So I recorded Articuno's Boots. Yeah. It was quite like muted, and I'm like, oh my presents, bass, perfect. Yeah, it's a bit more. It's quite more dainty. Well, it's quite like sedated. Yeah. And then I think the coffee probably hit me around that. Oh, skiing and that then, just. Yeah, it's quite. But yeah. So yeah, basically the point is I recorded it in about 3 sessions. Okay.
Didn't have to go back. Everything was done.
No, sick.
It's very fast. It's very impulsive. I've never made a project like that before.
Yeah.
All my projects have always been super, super conceptual. And to be honest, going forward, it'll probably will continue being more conceptual.
Yeah.
But this one, I just wanted to rap.
Yeah.
Pro asked me. I had a session with Modulist and Proton, and then Pro was saying to me how do you feel not going on sets? And I had to think about it. And
as in what? Because of like the whole COVID situation.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like, I've missed it.
Yeah.
When I was by myself.
Yeah.
So I missed being on sets, and I was gonna just tweet like who wants to do a set with me?
Yeah.
But then I was like, I might as well just write some bars first.
Okay, yeah.
And then over like 3 days, I wrote the project basically. Aside from fan service, because most of those bars existed before.
Okay,
but then the other songs, I just wrote them quickly. I was like, I need to make something. So basically, Nami sent me those beats like a year ago.
That's what I was thinking. Because I don't know if because I'm thinking when we last did that podcast and saw this, you were playing us some stuff, but that would have been
very different project.
Yeah.
And even when we had the last conversation on Zoom, none of these songs existed. Man. So it's literally
just off a whim.
It's only been these songs have only existed since May.
Okay, I see. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're very.
I definitely
very
thought you
new.
would have had a couple throwbacks.
No. They're all. I have not been recording. I just thought, I've not been recording stuff that has been released yet.
Yeah,
I've been working on other stuff.
Yeah.
That's very different to this.
Okay.
And I was like, I just wanted to make just stuff I like, stuff I would listen to. Because I listen to a lot of UK rappers and Gram MCs.
Yeah.
And not many of them make stuff I would actually want to listen to anymore. They do, as in like projects. They'll make like things that I'll like bits and pieces of.
Yeah.
I don't even want to give you an example because I actually don't want to sound like I'm trashing this person.
Yeah, like you did on Jay-Z.
We're gonna get into the how capitalism informs music opinion thing in a bit. But I also think that with this person, they're actually from London, and I actually think they're a great rapper.
Yeah.
And
he's a known rapper, basically.
Yeah, he's known. He's big. Yeah. He's a big guy. Like he's a big rapper. But I listened to his mixtape last year, and I was really disappointed because it was just like, why are you so scared of occupying your niche and filling it out properly? People think that that people misunderstand what it means to be like the most what's that word that people always use? People misunderstand what it means to be versatile.
As
people, the way that people understand being versatile is actually, from my understanding, being scattered.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Because they'll be. Jamie said it on a tune. He's like people on 96 Factories, and he's talking about spit on 16 genres a day or whatever. It's you do not need to be doing. You don't need
probably their view of doing it is so that they can capture
a big audience. But ultimately, the way the projects sound, it stops them from being timeless. Yeah. And that's not always that. When I say that, that's not always the case, but it often is.
Yeah.
Where you get these people that don't, they make projects, and it's just like it's like one of the first tracks, 100 BPM.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like a Afro swing type. Like it's got like the marimba sound in there, and it's like quite. Then the next thing's a drill thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then the next, and it's like.
Okay, I might know who you're talking about.
You might be able to guess, but I think I actually really rate this rapper. I think he's a really, really sick guy. But we'll talk off the camera. I'll tell you. But I think that this is something I experience a lot when I'm listening to a lot of UK projects. So I was just like, I can't do that myself. I'm gonna make something that's not conceptual because I'm gonna do stuff. I'm gonna do this project. Yeah. You can achieve anything like the rest of these. What these rappers should be doing.
Because I feel like on that topic, when you do a conceptual, that kind of gives you a kind of guideline where you do stay in.
Yes, so it's easier when you're being conceptual. That's a very good point. It's like it's easier to make something.
It's like cohesive. You got a skeleton. Basically.
I didn't want to do the conceptual thing. I wanted to just make bangers, but it not feel scattered. Feel focused and like laser focused.
Yeah,
you know. So there'll be a song that's a bit more aggressive. On one side, there'll be a song that's a bit more chill.
Chilled,
there'll be a song that's a bit more like an earworm hook.
Yeah.
There'll be one that's just, but it's ultimately it's all it doesn't feel scattered. It feels cohesive.
No,
without there being an overarching concept.
No, it definitely does.
Everyone just needs to learn to do that. And I think maybe, listen, if you're a rapper watching this or a musician, just shout me because I'll exec produce you. Because I feel like I understand this.
M.I.C the A&R, yeah.
I just want to help people make better albums, man. I just want to help people make better.
No, I have this thing as well with me as definitely that it's a thing where, like, especially with these drill guys, a lot of them would have been signed recently.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's their label or they feel like, like they got to have a couple girl tunes, they got to have a couple deep rap stories, they got to have a couple.
It's not interesting.
But
it's not
really,
timeless.
When you were doing you, that's when you were the best.
Yeah. And when I say this, I don't mean that musicians shouldn't be diversifying and exploring their options. I just think that when you make a tape, an album, an EP, basically a long form collection of songs, it really, you want things to be timeless. Yeah. Because, you know, making music that's trendy, no matter what the trend is, it doesn't, you know, like we're trying to, like, where are you trying to take this? Yeah. Where do you want this to be? How do you want this to be enjoyed? Do you want this to be enjoyed for summer? For summer 2021 or summer 2022? But then you have
to ask some of these artists even in it for that. A lot of them, they just, especially with drill, now that it's the in thing, they've seen you can make a couple dollars, couple pounds, jumped on a wave. I guess.
Look,
those type of artists, they hardly last. That's the only thing with that.
But the thing is, you'll be surprised because everyone does this. In my opinion, there aren't many. I always say, in my personal life, that the UK has better music than America. In terms, like, the black music is objectively.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Objectively, it's more diverse. It's more experimental. It's more exciting. It's more exciting.
Even when you listen to the metaphors and the lyrics, to me anyway,
it's just more.
They're more complex than Americans.
But that doesn't mean that the way that translates doesn't actually always mean that the music actually comes out better, or that like that. Often I find Americans to be better performers.
Oh yeah,
Americans. I think it's because culturally they're a bit more extroverted.
Yeah.
So when they're performing, it's captivating. Whether you're watching flipping Tyler the Creator, or you're watching Azealia Banks,
Kendrick,
or you're watching Kendrick, they have like a way about them where you're like, it's captivating. No matter if the music could be shite, but ultimately they're just more confident, I think, as a country.
But in the UK, especially in London, we have the kind of too cool for school kind of thing.
It just needs to end. Because, you know, there are cousins stateside are actually better performers, even with the music being a bit less exciting. Yeah. And when I say that, obviously, that's a big generalization from person to person, state to state. It's not going to always be like that. But ultimately, like the UK has some really exciting music. Yeah. Some really exciting music. And always has been. And just like, I just feel like also I can't ignore the fact that American black music has a lot more money. Yeah. They have a lot more disposable cash.
That's the thing, like, we don't really, except for like the likes of Disturb London, there's not really any independent, complete black labels really in the industry that you can compare to America.
I mean, even less in the business sense. I just mean just in terms of the actual money, whether it's coming from a white person or a black person or whatever, or independent major label. I just think that actually just is more money in America, in American black music, in American, in terms of their video budgets, in terms of their tour budgets.
Well, the other thing I always say with America is that there's just a lot more people in general.
There's that too as well.
It's always going to do better.
It's like comparing a continent to a tiny rock.
Yeah.
But I just think, I just want people in the UK to make albums that last the test of time. Whether they're doing the most poppy rap, whether they're doing drill, Afrobeats, grime, R&B.
I mean, even Tiny Temple was doing pop-up, but to me anyway, that Discovery album was sick to me anyway. I don't
remember the album.
That was with Parser.
I remember the singles, I think.
Yes, and there was the other Labyrinth songs. No, there was some dope cuts on there, like. Oh, it did.
Oh, really?
A little bit, yeah.
I
That was 2011 times, isn't it?
do you remember Hood Economics?
Yeah. I remember
That's
that.
such a good tape. Such a good, yeah. But yeah, what other sorry, I kind of went off. What else were we talking about related to the tape?
No, so we were talking about basically what
How?
makes a classic. Why aren't UK artists making? Well, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, you got your J Husses. To me, anyway, he made a classic last year.
Yeah.
But
They are here
Yeah.
because the music is so strong.
yeah.
If the music wasn't so strong, there wouldn't be any.
Yeah.
But because the music as a country
Yeah.
is so exciting,
Yeah.
but yeah, there are some good. There's good, but they're just a bit too few and far between.
Yeah.
You know, because of the lack of focus.
Mm.
I think, because guys just want to be making music for everyone when they just need to make it for themselves.
Yeah, no, I get you.
You know?
I get you.
First and foremost,
Yeah.
like no matter how insecure, I have insecurities about my music reaching the audience it's supposed to, but just make it. Ultimately, I just make it for myself. I make it for myself, and I'm excited for people to hear it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's what I would love to listen to. It's what I know. I'm in my niche. I'm occupying it.
Yeah.
And I'll diversify because I'm into other stuff too. So I want to bring other influences to what I do. But ultimately, I'm fulfilling my role of making the music I would always want to hear.
Yeah.
Always making the most experimental grime. That's the shit I would like to ask of people. But no one could do it in the way that I want to hear it. So I just do it.
No, I get you.
You know.
But in terms of you and your career and music and everything, do you kind of want to take that kind of independent underground route, or do you want to do the mainstream stuff as well?
I want whatever is gonna allow me to do what I need to do. So whether it's a major, independent,
because there's always that debate in it, the independent versus the major.
There's too many variables for that debate to even happen really anymore, because it just depends. It really just depends on what the person wants and what the label can give, or what they can give themselves.
Well, I don't know if you saw the Ray tweets.
I heard it, but I didn't really see too. But I got the gist of it.
But in a nutshell, basically she was with the label for like 7 years. Yeah, they kept promising her that her album will come, but obviously,
who's she with?
I don't know, but probably one of these major ones like Universal, one of those.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that I just saw an interesting thing. Someone was saying how like the indie label, like the major label I'll get my master's in 10 years. The indie label I was with will have my master's until I'm 70. Yeah, and they were just saying how it just depends.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
It just depends.
I was even gonna say, even if she went the independent route, it's like
it's not necessarily
you have to put in a lot more work, but
because ultimately some people just want the house.
Yeah,
some people want the house. Some people want a mortgage.
Sure.
That's why I'm not. Nowadays, I would never judge someone for any decision, whether they want to be independent, be with a major, or not be signed at all. Yeah. Because it just depends on what you want.
Yeah. Because even, I mean, Stormzy was independent for a while, but then he did a partnership with Atlantic. Yeah. And I'm sure all these artists who do say they're independent, there's some, whether it's through Nike,
you think a Chance the Rapper's fully independent?
Oh, hell no.
Absolutely
all of them are getting a bag from somewhere.
People are getting their bags from lots of places. And, you know, there's even the funding thing as well. Yeah. I just think that it just depends on what you want as a musician and what you're trying to achieve. Yeah. That's why I can never say one size fits all. I don't even know for myself. Yeah. I'll see what happens. Yeah.
So if the label came with that big bag to you, you're not rejecting it.
All I know is that I just want to be able to talk my shit. Yeah. Ultimately, and you know, and when I say that, it doesn't mean I wouldn't be under a major, because some of these majors now, as like, you know, we're post 2020, like, you know, the liberal white sphere is starting to hear black people here. I have to say that here, because it's not really their hearing, but they're at least performing and playing the part of acting, you know, do you know what I'm saying? So they like you can kind of get away with things, and say things, you know, that some people, but in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, you probably would not.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I can call people someone a cracker now and probably know about an eyelid.
Yeah.
Even 5 years ago, people would be frothing at the mouth in this stupid country.
Yeah, no,
do you know what I mean?
It's
So
true, it's true.
It just,
I mean, some of the stuff you do say on the tape is controversial. Like,
I can't. It's never. I'm never.
One thing I wanted to challenge on was obviously I come from a religious background.
Yeah.
You do kind of see.
I come from Christianity, definitely.
But what's your whole thing with coming at it then, from your side?
The way I see it is that, okay, so I have to give you like an allegory or like some kind of metaphor. So, you know how like, I don't know if you ever thought about the way that, in society, single people have less like social capital than married people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know how that's like an undeniable thing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing happens in other means. And I'm of the belief that in society, even though the UK is actually more secular than America.
Yeah, definitely.
It is still, the ultra conservative would call it still a Christian country.
Yeah.
Like it is still, we still live in like the global north. We live in the West. We live in a country that colonized the whole planet.
Yeah.
This is the heart of the empire.
Yeah.
Regardless of what's happening.
Yeah.
Globally, this country's moral system and ethical system is dictated by Christianity.
Yeah.
So it is. How do I explain this? Christianity is Christians, and Christianity as a thing.
Yeah.
These people have more, in the same way that married people have more social capital than single people. To be Christian in the UK or any other like white Western country, you do have more. You're afforded more respect, more social capital. I don't know how to explain this.
It's in the system.
Yeah, because it is, everything is dictated by Christianity here.
I mean, even all the laws were built off the 10 Commandments.
And I've got actually something else to say about that too. That even for me, my family, I'm Jamaican on my mum's side.
Yeah.
On my dad's side, Nigerian from like formerly Biafra, where my dad is Igbo and Efik. The laws in these countries, in these colonial creations of Jamaica and Nigeria, were dictated by Christianity first and foremost.
Yeah.
Even a lot of the homophobic, like anti-gay laws in Jamaica, are like based on Victorian laws that were based on, they were based on Britain's laws of like, how do I explain? What's that phrase I'm looking for? Like the kind of theocratic.
Okay, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So like if you actually read, I would actually, if you get a chance, read some of like the actual laws, the written laws of Jamaica, and it just sounds almost like Old English.
Yeah.
So it's like it's rooted in.
What? So would you say that's your main? Because I definitely, because even me, I grew up as a Christian, but that's always been a thing with me. The whole how they came to Africa with the cross and all of that. And
also as well, there's something, because I'm taking a while to get to the point, but basically the thing. I'm still getting there because there's a few other things I want to draw to this first. So it would be ignorant for me to just say that Christianity is just the white man's religion.
Yeah.
Because actually, historically, Africans practiced Christianity pre-colonialism.
Even in Ethiopia.
Yeah, and in other African countries too, pre-colonial. Okay. But the thing is that that is not what is happening now. That's not.
Okay, you're talking about the version that we have now.
Yes, it's not. Like that is not. If someone Episcopalian comes to me, a black Episcopalian person or black Protestant comes to me and they say, like, how could you, like, you're coming for my thing, like, you're coming for my faith. I'm like, and how can you say it's a white man's religion? Your one absolutely is.
Yeah.
Your one absolutely, it is undeniable. Like, it's not, like, I guess overall, if you look in the broadest sense, it's not the white man's religion, but your iteration of it absolutely is. And my problem with Christianity is that, going back to the whole thing about Christians are afforded more respect and more rights.
Yeah.
In the US, absolutely, and in the UK to a lesser extent, that is like undeniable. Like you atheists, people that non-practicing people are not afforded the same freedoms. Even if you look at all these rappers, every rapper's talking about fucking, you know, and has this weird like self-centered thing about like praising God for their achievements.
Yeah. I'm
just like, how I just don't understand how people can have this mentality, because I don't know. I just think that it's just, there's a lot of, I was raised as a Christian too, and there's a lot of holes in black Christianity for me, because I just don't understand how, I don't know, I just feel like, even like when I'm talking to my family and stuff, I'm like, they're talking to me about like, how can you not like believe that it's the end times? I'm like, black people have actually already been through the end times. If we're keeping it buck, if we're keeping it 100%, if we're keeping it buck, black people have already been through the end times. Especially if you're from a country that was a colonial state, or you're from a country like if you're Caribbean, African American,
Sierra Leone as well, Freetown,
Liberia, all these other it's post-apocalyptic. If you actually think about it, we've been through an apocalypse. We've been through a genocide. We've been through what's your Ecuador. So it's a similar thing. To be honest, a lot of because it's not just black people. It's a lot of indigenous groups the world over have been through.
My father is a black man from Ecuador, so he's straight up that thing.
Yeah. Like even how your dad would be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if your dad's from Ecuador. Like, how would he have been there? Do you know, like, black people globally are living in a post-apocalyptic world. And I just think that...
So is it basically those two, you think they're not in accordance with each other? Is that
I don't understand. I just think that it's odd. Because I'm sounding a bit unfocused. But what the point I'm trying to get at is, I just don't understand how black people have allowed... in this day and age, are still allowing Christianity to be what dictates their behavior, their.
It's a difficult one though, because for me anyway, I have seen positive sides of it, even though it definitely has that. Not all Christianity, but that one side that did kind of colonialize the world, and
because it is European Christianity, but you just have to ask: Okay, if you're taking the Bible, obviously you could see, it depends on how you interpret the Bible. But if you are interpreting the Bible as like remotely literal, why did God not intervene when in chattel slavery? Like, why? Like, why? What was going on? Because there were so many. That's
a difficult one.
There were so many atrocities that happened in the Bible where God intervened. I know this because I spent a lot of time reading and studying the Bible as a child and a young man. Why there were things that happened where God intervened because his worshippers were being cast, they were being beaten, enslaved.
And I'm like, I'd have to get a pastor on to debate you here, because I've read the Bible, but not to that degree where I've got all the answers basically. But I guess my question was just that. No, I definitely didn't feel like you were going at it, but I just felt that's your point of view, innit? And I was just interested to know, where you came.
The point I was getting at before with the whole what's it again? With the my mind's gone blank. With the point I was getting at earlier about mentioning about the Christians having more social capital than atheist people, and religious people generally having more social capital than atheist people, is that
but I think it's kind of what Raf was saying, that it's ingrained in society and in the system. So,
but at what point do we as individuals stop the buck, At what point do we say that society is bigger than us, but in my personal life and in my behavior, I choose to stop.
But I think people definitely are like the whole if we look at the secular percentage from the 60s to now, I'm sure it's shot up by a lot.
It has, but there's also, I don't know, like you could, I think to like a lot of because it has that is true, but I also think about the violence and oppression that people still experience at the face of Christian fundamentalism globally. I think about the black African kids who live in this country, say, or live wherever, and they who might be queer or whatever, and their parents ostracize them and beat or like and like abuse them, humiliate them. I think about that. I think, and obviously someone could argue that these are like the more toxic manifestations of Christianity that aren't really biblical, but ultimately, I'm just curious as to how people end up like that. Why? How do they end up at this point? Do you know what I'm saying? Was it the missionary work that the Europeans did to go into Africa that made them so violent and dogmatic and so homophobic, or is it the continue? I think
it's a balance, because there's that side, but then from me, I can't lie, I have seen positive effects in people's lives. I mean, you can even go to like the gangsters in London, and like some of them, when they turn their life around and they go to faith, you could argue it's a fake, whatever, it's not real, but if it is having that positive effect on their lives, isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, but how are we even quantifying positive? Because here's the thing as well, I think that, and this is something I've only really, really come to feel recently. Because the denomination of Christianity that I grew up with was Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
So I always understood Christianity as being something like, if you're a Christian, you're not materialistic.
Yeah.
But what I've recently come to understand is that that's actually not that true for a lot of other denominations. And
definitely not. I mean, you got the guys in America with jets and
there's
flipping
capitalism and Christianity are like this a lot of the times.
I'd say more in the USA, definitely. In the UK as well.
I think if you think about it globally.
Oh yeah, true. Because I mean, even when you go to Nigeria, you have.
It's a global thing. It's kind of like, and that's the thing. I think that I try not to see. Obviously, I have my own personal experiences with Christianity that impact my views about Christianity. Yeah. But ultimately, it's big. It's not about me. Yeah. It's bigger than me. It's bigger. It's bigger than individual stories. It's bigger than anecdotes. It's bigger than, that guy used to be a shotter, and or that guy used to do road, and now he's like he's in church on Sunday. He's not on the crud anymore. But I just think it's bigger than you cannot talk about the faith without talking about the violence that was enabled by it. Okay. And I think a lot of Christian people are not prepared to actually look at the history of how slavery was actually worsened by Christianity, because obviously slavery existed historically before. Even look at the Roman Empire, it existed. It's something Egyptian, that's always been in human civilization. But it was a thing where slaves were not like treated like animals. They
were more like closer to servants, but still obviously.
And I still think that obviously it's still morally objectionable to be a slave, or to have a slave or whatever. Not when I say morally objectionable to be a slave, I still think it's wrong for someone to be made a slave, because obviously a lot of the slaves in pre-European colonialism were prisoners of war.
Prisoners of war.
But I also think that, and I can't even say think. I just mean objectively. If you actually look at the history, slavery was intensified. Before it came to Africa and it came to like the indigenous regions, people of the world, it was intensified by Christianity, because the church actually in this country and in Europe they would have slaves on their ground, and they treated them more violently. And these are white slaves. They treated them more violently than past slave owners. And then obviously it extended to Africa. And Australasia. You know, like, or as in like the colonialism.
Yeah, I need to go do my history again. But I get where it's
Yeah.
because as I said in it, it's one that I have a debate with as well.